Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my garden. I figured I would start here in my potted area of maples that I just have in pots, or ones I'm still looking for the perfect spot in my yard to place, or just waiting for them to get a little bit bigger. It is April 14th, and I thought I would kind of start, might as well kind of start over here in the corner. So I got a couple new arrivals from Mr. Maple over the weekend. So one of them is this one, Sinsu. It was budded up. When I got it, it's starting to leaf out, which is, I'd rather have it leaf out here so it gets used to this environment. But Sinsu, this is my Geisha Gone Wild. I had one a few years ago, but it died in that Christmas freeze that we all had here on the East Coast, where it went from like 60 or 70 degrees during the day, and up here in the Piedmont of Virginia, we dropped to like 13 degrees that night. So this one here is my Mystic Macawa. The spring colors have faded on it, but still a really pretty tree. Back here are some of the grafts. I had 4 grafts, 3 of them took. This one is called Fred. I got it from Elizabeth Mundy at Acer Acres when I was able to graft it off of her tree before she moved. And this one is like an oregano nishiki dissective type leaf. So I'm really super excited to see these ones as they mature. So 3 out of the 4 grafts took, so I'm excited about that. Down here is, this one is longwood, or sometimes also called dancing peacock, but not to be confused with Meiku Jaku. The leaves, look how big these leaves are. And they'll actually even get bigger than that. Longwood. And actually back here I have a small Meiku Jaku, and just to kind of put in the comparisons, on the left is the Meiku Jaku and on the right is the longwood. So you can kind of see the difference. They're pretty similar, but up close you can see some of the differences in them. Right here is an Ojishi that I just got as well. I'm excited about this one. I have a Shishi Shigira kind of near my front porch that we'll probably see later, but excited to have this Ojishi. I really like the crinkle leaves and the layering habit that these styles take on. This one right here that we saw near the beginning is my Angel the Prince, just leafed out. Love the colors of this one. It leaves out. It'll eventually fade to kind of more of a green, but right now this spring color is just electric on it, with the painted nails and that yellow against it. So Angel the Prince, it's definitely a really neat one. This one here I also just got from Mr. Maple is Islid, Acer Suboliatum Islid. I'm excited to see this one. Probably let it get a little bit bigger before I plant it out. Next to that is this one here is my Japanese Princess. Has a little bit of color still left in it, but it's still just a pretty tree. Love the like any Macawa type, the shingling type habits, and their awesome shapes that they just naturally form. So that is my Japanese Princess. Next to it down here is my lemon lime lace. This one leafed out green, like more of the stark green that you see, but you can see it's starting to add some more of that yellowish color for what it's known for. I've seen a couple of these with different gardens and garden centers where it's actually bright yellow against the green, which is where it gets like that lemon lime lace name from. And so I'm hoping that with a little bit more sun, this one will add some more of that actual yellow. It looks like I said, these leaves are lightening up here in the front, so hopefully they'll turn yellow pretty soon. Next to that is my Mystic. Still has some of this amazing spring color in it right there. Once again, the Macawa types are just I really like that shingling type habit and the shapes that they take, and any of the ones that kind of add the spring color are just just add something to an already beautiful tree. Kind of in these spots behind it, these are my seedlings I took from just straight species Acer palmatum. So I might go through them. Mostly I intended these to be rootstock, so hopefully in the next little bit some rootstock. My umbrella pine didn't make it through the winter, so hopefully I can find another one. This is my American ginkgo. I think I found a place to put this one, so I'm going to probably plant it out in the yard pretty soon. And this is my Acer japonicum ruby. I know there's another Japanese name for it, but I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head. This one leaves out green, and then it gets this red blush on it during the during the spring, and it actually holds it pretty well into the summer. It does pretty well in a lot of sun. This one is basically sitting in full sun right now, but I know it's early spring. I'll move it in a little bit once the sun gets higher and it gets more into the summer. Probably let it get about 6 hours of sun, so it kind of holds on to that beautiful red color that we have there. Next to that, this is my hot sauce. You can see like what the sun's shining through, what the hot sauce does. Acer or Olivium, or in the leaf colors. If I can get the focus, there we go. Come out like this really bright cherry red and kind of fade to more of this maroon color back here. You can kind of see the difference between the brand new growth and then as it kind of fades. This one does green up for me, doesn't hold it as well as like Fire Glow, but it holds it probably about as well as like Emperor One or but yeah, just that light shining through the leaves right now. So I gotta find a place where I can see this, so that's why I'm kind of holding up on planting it. I want to see where I can get a good spot where either the morning sun or the evening sunlight right now can shine through the leaves. This helps make it glow. It's really pretty. And then right next to that, I have a Trombe's Red Sentinel I just picked up from a garden center. Had a really good deal on it. Yeah, this one is here, holds its red pretty well and can take a lot of sun. Right now it's starting, you can see even some of the leaves that don't get as much sun kind of are greening up already. But hopefully it holds its color pretty well. I've seen some people say that it does, so we'll see how it does here in my garden. So over here we have some jump starts and some of my little tiny conifers, and then over here's my Orangeola. I just like it with my Sweet Kate and my Lamnium. This will actually get like a bright purple flower on it in a little bit, but my Orangeola with the contrast of that and my Florida Elysium next to it is just, I just love this view. It's right next to my back stoop, so I get to walk by it all the time. Got some Japanese painted ferns down here, and also some hellebores kind of in the background. Now they're kind of fading, but during a couple of weeks ago, those were definitely the highlight of this garden bed. So we had a bunch of nights that were in, or a bunch of days that were in the 70s and then in the 80s. It was probably like that for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we got a 28-degree night. So after like 4 or 5 days in the high 80s, then we got a 28-degree night, and they definitely got some burn on some of my trees, and you can definitely see it here on the Orangeola. But luckily this one's big enough, it'll do fine. I gave it some Miracle Grow to kind of help it out a little bit, so it should rebound. This one's a pretty hardy type cultivar. I just love the shape of this one. I've kind of been training it so it doesn't just automatically weep down, and I'm going to try and prune it into kind of that floating clouds type shape so that way you can kind of see the trunk of it. But Orangeola, this one will eventually kind of green up, but it will have kind of this red tips on it throughout the summer, and then the orange color of the fall is amazing. But yep, so hopefully within the next couple of weeks, a lot of this more burnt frost damage will have been replaced with some new growth. Even though I covered it with a sheet, it still did that. So kind of continuing along, some plants I need to plant. Here's my butterfly. I actually got this as a small 1 gallon, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and you can see it kind of took some frost damage too, even though I also covered this one with a sheet. The thing I love about butterfly, especially if you're in more of the shady areas, you get this really pretty white. So out here, at least in the Virginia, I haven't seen the floating clouds, Ukigumo, get white, but butterfly consistently for me gets white like this every year. So more of the shady areas stay that white, and then more of the areas that are in the sun get this type of variegation, which is still pretty, the green and the white on it. And then in the early spring, I might still have some pink on it. But this is butterfly. People have said that it is known for reverting. This tree, I must have just got a really good cutting or graft off of whoever took the graft did a really good job, because I haven't had any reversions at all that I've had to cut out here on this butterfly. I've had to cut some out on my what's the other one, Benny, it's more pink, and now I'm blanking on the name. I have it down further in my driveway. Benny Shishahenga, that one I had definitely had to cut things out on. But this butterfly, just that really pretty white and that variegation. There's some pink. We can get it to focus. Yeah. Butterfly definitely is a must. And this one, it sits in the shade most of the day. It mostly just gets afternoon sun, and actually handles that afternoon sun very well. Another Florida Lycium, Florida Petalum, and next to my giant Macawa. And this Macawa's my favorite. I've probably had this thing now 10 years or so. This shape is kind of what it's taken on all by itself. I just love the spring green habit and the layering that it gets on it. And you can see some of the leaves are starting to get more of that Kelly summer green, but like this bright green that it gets is just amazing, the shapes that they take. This one, like I said, kind of took the shape all on its own. I didn't really have to do too much to it, other than maybe a couple crossing branches here or there, but for the most part, this is what it's did on its own. And then I got some azaleas here. And this one here is called Winter's Gold. I know there's another Winter's Gold, something Winter's Gold. I don't have that one. This one's just called Winter's Gold. The bark during the winter time is actually yellow. Right now it's kind of more of a greeny yellow on it, but this one actually gets like bright yellow. Not quite as vivid as Bihu, but still pretty yellow. And the leaf's completely different than the Bihu leaf. It's definitely more of that really divided Matsumura, almost like a Linear-lobum type leaf. It turns like a bright red orange in the fall, so against that yellow bark, this one's pretty neat. I've only ever seen this one available from Elizabeth Mundy, which is where I got it from. I haven't seen another one from anywhere else or any other information on it, so I'm not sure if it's one of her introductions that she and Gary introduced or not there at Acer Acres before they retired. But that's my Winter's Gold. Over here is my Shigira. There we go. Once again, just kind of like that OG I have. Just the crinkly leaves and the layering habit that it produces. It's just a really cool tree, which is why I have it here next to my one of my steps going up to my porch. And this here is probably it's 7 feet tall, so without a pot maybe about 6 feet tall. So yeah, Shigira. This one is usually one of the last ones to turn color in the fall, and the colors on it are amazing, yellows and reds and orange. So if you don't have one in your garden, I highly recommend getting one of these. And then next to that, I have my Pumpkill, or Punkill, there we go. Really fine linear lobum. This one actually holds its red really well for me throughout the summer months compared to some of the other linear lobums that are red. And once you can get not quite as bright as the hot sauce, but there's definitely, as the sun is shining through, definitely lighting up the back of the leaves. But these linear lobum leaves are really amazing here on this Punkill. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed my garden tour. Hopefully I can get another one in soon to show you most of the ones that are in the ground in my yard. So thanks for joining me on this tour, and see you guys next time.